Straight out of Jerry's shop to Mike Malone, from Mike Malone to Jimmy. It's just been tucked away. Nobody's seen it.
That's insane.
I'm Loz. I build machines and tattoo out of Lucky Supply, Largo, Florida, and I try my best.
Yeah. How did you get your start in tattooing?
I got my start in tattooing in 2009. I started tattooing out of the house, not professionally. Eventually, that led me into meeting who I still work with today, Muka, out in Ink Fink in Tampa, Florida. And we're all friends with Jimmy, so that's kind of both led me into here.
That's cool.
Yeah. Very nice.
And it was like working with him, that's how you met Jimmy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I had purchased from Lucky's, but I had never physically been to the building or the museum. And,
Oh, crazy.
one of these days, I had just brought up that I was into machine building and tuning machines and taking them apart. And he's like, dude, you should probably meet Jimmy.
Yeah.
Eventually met him, and then I built a machine with him and his son, and I built a set of machines, and eventually that led me into working here. It took quite a few years, but I think I came here enough where Jimmy got a good feel of who I was. And, you know, fast forward, here we are. Yeah.
What were you doing before you were tattooing?
I've only tattooed.
Really?
Yeah.
That was like your first and only
my first
job?
This would be my actual real job.
What the hell?
Yeah, so to give a full story, 2009 I was in high school still. I was 15 and I picked up a machine. It is the only job I've ever had. I've never had a real job.
You have no idea how good you have it.
Yeah. So I picked up a machine. There was a tattoo supply called B-Rush Apple that sold to pretty much anybody. They only sold half ounces of Starbright, and they had really, really cheap machines.
Yeah.
That little black bulldog I mentioned earlier today. And I bought one of those, and I've only tattooed. And eventually when I turned like 16, 17, I had a little facial hair. The laws were still different in Florida. So I actually went to a flea market, and I got a tattoo there. Then I was like, hey dude, like I want to get a job. And he was like, are you 18? I was like, yeah, man. And he just never checked. He never cared to check, and he just threw me in. And back then, that guy was actually super popular. The only time I've ever seen it in my career, he had a line that would wrap around the door.
Really?
So, waiting for just him.
Wow.
Yeah. And he's like, you could watch me, and then eventually turned into he's like, start tattooing.
But you met him at a flea market.
Yeah.
He was tattooing.
Well, I'm sorry. Let me double back.
Yeah.
Muka was not a part of the flea market. I worked for somebody else before him.
Okay. Sure.
This is when I was still in school.
Okay.
And I worked for that dude for about 2 years. When I turned 18 is when I finally met Muka. One of my cousins brought me by his shop, and I already knew about him. I was like, oh, it's like, big name and around the city. And I asked him for an apprenticeship. He told me no. A few times I got tattooed by him, and I think after some time had passed, I asked him again. He gave me the opportunity.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to get your foot in the door.
Yeah.
Is go get tattooed.
Yeah. I think you should get tattooed by somebody you admire.
Agreed.
And
yeah,
the relationship will last a lot longer, and I think it'll be a quality experience for both parties involved.
Right.
So from 18, I'm 31 now. I've been working with him.
Dude, I saw my first ever tattoo done on my dad, which was his first tattoo, at a flea market. I've never heard of that ever until now. like ever happening again.
Yeah,
that is wild.
Back in the day,
was it indoors or outdoors?
It was indoor.
Okay,
yeah, it was indoor.
So
there was an outdoor flea market called Big Top Flea Market, and I remember walking past. It was like it looked like a hot dog booth, but they had like flash sitting on the outside, and you can kind of see in the glass and watch people get tattooed.
Cool.
And those are some of my first experiences. Just seeing tattoos was in a flea market. I mean, we'd go like just getting fruit and stuff like that. But I'm like, what's that noise? And I'd go watch them get marked up. But
that's
my dad had the first tattoos I'd ever seen.
Dude, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I guess a flea market tattooing is like as close to the circus as
without being getting in the circus. For sure. Yeah. It's like, so cool. It wasn't like, I mean, dude, I think as far as tattoo shops, I mean, I could probably count the shops that were around in the area. It was like Artistic Armor, Tattoos by Lou, Blue Devil. I'm sure, there was like, I don't know, like C&K Tattoo or K&Y, I don't know, something like that. There was some biker shop I went into and they kicked me the fuck out.
Really?
Immediately. But yeah, there wasn't really a lot, enough, like maybe Atomic Tattoos, but there wasn't a lot of tattoo shops. You can count literally on your hand how many shops, and they were all in their own corner of the city. Like nobody got in anybody's way.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's completely different from that.
Yeah, kind of had like this. There's probably a spoken respect, but definitely at least a respect.
There was some territory for sure, and I do know of some stories where guys would go and let the other shops know, hey, I'm going to be opening a shop in this area. Like there was a respect thing.
Sure, instead of just popping open.
Jimmy had touched on that last night. I don't exactly remember the name. You said that at one point there was only like one tattooer around here.
Tattoos by Lou.
And somebody drove 40 minutes.
Yeah.
To be like, Tattoos by Lou. And then I believe the 40-minute drive was, I'm brain farting his name, but he opened up Artistic Armor.
Okay. Yeah. I thought that was super cool.
Yeah. I'm sure Jimmy will correct me, but I'm pretty sure that's how it went.
Sure.
You know, because there was like, you just didn't do that.
Yeah.
You just didn't open up a shop.
Right. Yeah. So you start tattooing at 17, 18, and then you said that was 09.
I was 15 in 09. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I started tattooing legit in 07, and I could count definitely on one hand how many supply companies there were that we had to buy from, and I think back then Lucky's was the only one of maybe 2 or 3 that would actually check to see if you were a pro or not.
For sure. Yeah.
And
selling to anybody.
Which was obviously, once I was able to get into a shop, I was like, well, okay, now I can buy from all these other companies.
You know what's funny, and I'm sure Jimmy will probably think this is funny too. When I got into it, so 09, there was B-Rush Apple. I knew of Kingpin. I knew of Lucky's.
Yep.
Unimax Supply, like things like that. You know.
Yep.
But with Lucky's, when you got on their website, you had like the tattoo. These like tattoo kits. So I'm like, it's like tattoos for clown. You didn't have access to the site. It would send you.
Oh yeah, and it would
send you to clown school.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that.
I wish he still had that.
That was so funny.
But yeah, it would send you to clown school, which I thought was hilarious. I was like, oh man, you got me, dude. Like, all right.
But even then, it was like, you kind of have to earn your way into these guys. Which for me, it was always like, well, that's kind of the pinnacle. Then. That's like. They're high up.
And honestly, when you finally got to make the purchase, you felt good about it because now you did have access to it. It's like, you earned your way into learning how to tattoo. And to get the quality supplies, you had to kind of earn your way to or prove yourself in that sense, which I think is really cool.
Have you always used coils for your whole career?
Well, I used a few rotaries. Sure. I had this knockoff Swash drive that I used for a long time. I think I snapped a wire and I just went right back to the it was only $20 or something like that. But it's whenever I saw it was just a new machine in a magazine. I was like, which was my exposure to tattoos as well, was tattoo magazines like Skin Art and things like that. But I do remember seeing some and I saw a cheap rotary for sale. They had it at B-Rush Apple. I was like, $20. Like, you can't beat that. I'm doing tattoos for 15. Like, when I do 2 tattoos, like, give me a machine. Yeah. And I used it. And it worked fine for what I was doing back then. It wasn't nothing crazy. And I broke it. And I went right back to go. I was like, oh, I can break this coil machine, so I just kept using that. You know? Yeah. So,
do you remember so you ordered a machine from the one website?
No. I went to B Rush Apple. It was a local.
Oh,
supply.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
I went up
that's
to
cool.
Supply, yeah.
I'm not used to that. Like, there's nobody local in Minnesota.
Oh, really?
So we were in Denver. Like, there's a truck that goes around and delivers to them, and then you guys have
we had Lucky's, have Lucky's, Kingpin, had B Rush Apple. I think they're still around, but they go by a different name.
Interesting.
And then there's a place called Diversified that sold supplies, which I actually have a funny story about Diversified.
Well, what is it?
So while I was still in school, you had to get qualified to buy any kind of supplies except for B Rush Apple. They sold to anybody.
Okay.
And I went there and I went in. I was like, I want to get some Fusion ink. I want to buy this machine. I want to, I just had a list of things I had looked on their website. I'm like, I got the money for it. And he's like, how old are you? I was like, well, I'm 16. He's like, 16? He's like, dude, where do you tattoo at? And I was like, a house. House, man. I was like, but look all these tattoos I did on myself. I can know how to tattoo. And he's like, dude, look, you're a scratcher. Get the hell out. I'm not selling to you. So I was like, okay, fine. And I leave and somebody goes, no, dude, you got to tell me you're a pro. All right, cool. Yeah, man. So I got one of my cousins, like, hey, dude, you just got to go in there and tell him you're a pro. I'll wait in the car. Yeah. And dude, I went for a week straight. Every day I brought somebody new.
Oh my.
You see him, he look out the window. And he's like, he'd see me in there like, no way. And they were like, oh no, I can't buy it, dude. Can't buy it.
Really?
A little bit of time goes by, I get into the flea market. I'm official now, right?
Okay.
So I'm like, I got a job in a place, they're licensed. So I go in there, I'm like, I want Fusion ink. Yeah. That machine. I'm not dude, I'm legit. Yeah. He's like, where do you work? And I'm like, I work for this guy Cuba. He knows you. I know his wife, I know his 2 kids. I work with him. And he's like, I guess, yeah. Oh, all right, it'd be $350. I'm like, that's all the money I got. All right, yeah. Right. I lay it down. I get all the supplies, and I'm like, and I basically did it. I'm in. Right. That's awesome. I end up being really good friends with that guy later on.
That's cool.
That is so cool.
He's like, oh yeah, I remember that. I was like, yeah. I sent my mom, my cousin, dude. If you just looked a little bit older, I was like, dude. All right, tell him you work for this shop, and you're waiting to get your license back. I would send him with every excuse, and he immediately would look out the window and he's a fucking kid, dude. What's up with him, man? I would not stop.
That's cool. Again, it's like the whole apprenticeship thing, going back again and again and again.
The determination.
Dude. Yeah.
Right. Didn't take no for an answer.
No.
That's good.
No, I'm stubborn in that sense. Yeah. Iron will. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah. So then, style, have you meddled in all of them? Have you landed on one?
Yeah, I'm not. I have it in my head that I'm not allowed to say no to pretty much anything. The only things I know, if I'm gonna butcher it, I'm gonna send you to somebody that I know that can do better. But for the most part, I do most styles. Yeah, that's cool. I feel like that's the tattooer's job.
I think back in that day too, that was a day where there wasn't really too many people doing a style.
Yeah, you just did tattoos.
Yeah, you just made the tattoo. Yeah. There were you maybe followed the trends, but still wasn't
the trend was like, oh, I'm trying to do this because I saw this in the magazine and it looked really cool. But I said no one time in the shop with the guy that I'm with now, and dude, he the repercussions were pretty terrible. It was very embarrassing but I learned hey dude, you need to just you're saying no to that doesn't even make sense. It's not good for business anyway. Sure. You just turn it down, you're only doing what you want to do. That's not how this works. You're here to do tattoos, and if you don't know how to do it, you probably should be practicing that and get good at it so you can do it.
So you can say yes next time.
How did you make that pivot or transition into the machine building? Was it just tinkering with your own machines?
It's tinkering with machines. So I would take my machines, I'd take them apart, and I learned that you can buy other materials like shorter springs, longer springs, different wrap coils. And I started just rebuilding the machines that I had, you know, so I can have a nicer running machine, because at the time I couldn't afford the luxury machines, you know. So I had little cheap Chinese machines, and I made them work.
So you felt like that, like tinkering with them was out of necessity. Like, I need to make this work better.
Well, I wanted to know how it worked in the first place. It's like, you know, because if you turn the screw, it's like, all right, it runs a little bit faster. Or like, man, it's not pushing the needle, or something came loose, because a lot of times the screws weren't tight on that on those machines.
Right.
And they'd rattle, because, dude, I was tattooing. I didn't even know voltage. I didn't understand voltage to a machine. So dude, all my tattoos are done at 12, 14 volts, as high as it can go. I'm like, it seems pretty
so loud.
It's pretty good, you know, like, all right, I think that's going to push that in there. And eventually, you run things loose and you got to fix it. And hopefully you fix it right. A lot of times I didn't. And then, you know, I had to keep tattooing, so I had to figure out how to fix it. So I'd spend all night taking them apart, and eventually buying parts, or asking people to buy me parts to trade for tattoos. Like, I'll tattoo you if you buy me these little 8-wrap coils on this website. Like, you know, and eventually, then I was like, all right, this is pretty tight. Like, I think I'm understanding how to tinker with it and make it work. I made a badass black and gray shader on accident, dude. It's crazy.
What was that supposed to be?
I don't know what it was, dude, but I just know it ran a hell of a lot faster, and I was shading this guy, and I remember the gray just being smooth. And I was like, whoa, this thing's nice, dude. Like, you know, it was basically like a cutback shader, you know, it's like a liner setup, but I used it like a shader, and dude, it was amazing. Like, wow. This is it. This is a jam.
That's sweet.
So I just kept tinkering it. Here we are, you know. So,
And how long have you been building machines, would you say?
Tinkering since 2009, building, I mean, on a professional scale, maybe like 5 years.
Okay,
like
that's cool. Yeah.
Here I get quite the learning curve, the amount of machines that I build. But quite the learning curve.
So then, how did you transition from tattooing every day? That's your bread and butter. Then how did you? Because you said you had been buying from Lucky's already, like a lot of us. Then how did you get to have your foot in the door here?
I got really lucky. I just got a phone call, you know, like, I think me spending a lot of time here, I would come just to talk to Jimmy, just to ask him advice about life, about business, and like, how should I navigate these situations? And just really just building a friendship, like, you know, because I mean, you spend so much time in the library, eventually you just want to talk to the guy that's doing all this. So sometimes I would just come just for advice. And then one day he called me up and offered me a position, and I took it immediately without question. And I think sometimes for some people, you know, you can sacrifice the bread and butter to contribute for something that you really do appreciate and love, because the payment is just being here. You know, so
that's right.
That's true. That's a bigger portion.
What were you hired on to do? What was
to build machines?
Okay. And was it like, we want to carry your machines, or was it assembling? Like,
no, just building everything for Lucky. So whatever production machines or whatever they were making at the time, I build, assemble, and tune.
Oh, that's super cool.
So I get to build directly with Jimmy. So we're the only two building machines.
Wow,
pretty cool.
That's really cool. And then you said that these days, like, you build your own line of machines. And then also you've developed the needle. The OSU needles. Talk about that.
So they're pretty much based off of Tabori needles. So they have a different diameter than standard needles, but they taper into a particular taper that I like. And I think they just carry pigment a lot better. I think it's easier to tattoo.
Really?
I think if you have a hard hitting machine, soft hitting machine, it's going to be efficient every time. And honestly, I mean, through the development, I've had a lot of very reputable tattooers. I don't want to name drop, but I've had a lot of guys use them, and they love them, and I love them too.
Super cool.
So, and I mean, if it's going to make your job easier, why not? You know? And I just think it's a cool way to contribute to tattooing and switch things up a little bit. But it's directly with Lucky, so it's just another thing that I can feel good about. It's a goal that I've wanted to hit. You know,
that's huge. You don't really hear too many people making like their own needles, or you know, like they have a brand of needles. I feel like that's somewhat rare. It's not really.
It feels pretty cool. It's a cool opportunity. You know, Jimmy, honestly, I got to give him a lot of credit behind that, because he's given me the opportunity to contribute what I can contribute, you know, and I know he cares about quality and making newer products that you don't normally see, you know, just whatever we can do to improve tattooing and contribute. You know, that's a big portion of it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
When you started here, was the museum here already, or is that something that was starting?
No, it was on East Bay.
Okay.
Yeah, the museum was on East Bay at the time. Over here on 62nd, it was just the supply, and the machine shop moved. I think we all moved over here in 2022 in December. But on East Bay, it was the machine shop and the museum and the tattoo room. So you go there, get tattooed, see all the stuff. Yeah.
Sure. And that's the room we're in now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so how does this room work, generally speaking, is it just where you guys get to tattoo, or?
So I tattoo here, and then guest artists will come by and they'll tattoo. So if you happen to stay, you know, in the apartment, you want to do your appointments, you can come down here and tattoo.
That's cool.
Yeah, Jimmy's made it available where it's way easier. If you do want to tattoo here, you can.
Sure.
It makes it available.
That's
for
pretty
us.
sweet.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Very cool opportunity, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you're literally right here, tattoo all day, walk right up the stairs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And you get to like sleep.
Yeah.
Literally sleep around all of this magic in this one.
And I feel like
so cool.
When it was on East Bay, that would be like, man, dude, if I could just stay the night here. And it's like, well, now Jimmy made it where you actually can stay here and stay next to all the relics that you cherish and admire. You know, from afar. You know, he puts it in hands reach. It's crazy.
So, being that tattooing's been pretty much your whole life, at least employment-wise, do you think you always had an appreciation for the history behind it, or do you think that that's something that grew?
I think it's something that grew.
Okay, so then that answers the next question of like, for people that are, you know, maybe entering tattooing, that's, you know, I don't know, like, what do you think kind of triggers or creates that curiosity? Because obviously you had this place to come and but this isn't always available to people. Because
it wasn't even available to me at a point, because I didn't have the courage to come up here. You know, I don't think but at first I did not have the appreciation for any level of good tattooing. I didn't know. It's just education. I think, you know, if you get educated, then you can begin to appreciate it. But I think it comes in where you start to realize, like, if you get an apprenticeship and you're like, hey, draw this rose, and you don't know how to draw it, you can critique it all you want. If you want to look at somebody's, you know, and you're like, oh, it's childish, or it's not good, or it's too simple, it's like, try to draw it. And you realize you can't do it. It's not that easy. It's not that easy to simplify things. And then when you do finally figure it out, it's like you start to realize that there's this pattern that is in the design that makes it look good. Once you figure out that formula, then you're like, all right, cool. Well, when you start, you know, you realize that the complicated stuff and the intricate stuff that you were into, or you thought was really advanced or crazy, doesn't really hold up or look the same the way that these, like, your eyes kind of gravitate towards how bold and simple and still somehow really elaborate those designs are. And then that's where that appreciation kind of comes from, you know. And then getting those kind of tattoos too, I think, is a big part of it.
That's a good point. Right. Yeah, because in all these designs and stuff, like, I could see, you know, I know what you mean. Oh, it's such a simple way. Well, maybe there's a reason for that. What is that reason?
I will say this too. I just thought about it. When I was a kid, I remember going to this ice cream shop, and this guy he had a Black Panther on the back of his arm, and the tail went around his elbow. And I remember just kind of spotting it under his t-shirt. Wow, that thing's so cool. And that's always been in my head too. Like, you know, like when you start looking at tattoos, your eyes kind of like follow those kind of work. And it's like stuck in my head, you know, that particular design. And I think he had like a pink strip in the middle instead of like skin. It was like half pink and a little bit of skin, but it was like a sick tattoo, you know, and it's like the pigment, the ink looks a certain way in the skin. Like it has a look. And I think it can't be replicated sometimes. It's just like, wow, that thing looks cool. You know? And then I kind of want to do that.
Sure.
You know.
So that was curious. Like that made you curious.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, there's definitely a lot of history here that I wonder if, you know, Instagram tattooers even know about or
I think
care about.
I think that'll get missed.
Yeah.
The Instagram tattooers, I think they're just a different breed. So I mean, they're consumed by what they see on their phone. So you can't find a lot of this stuff on the internet.
Sure.
It's not like we post every little thing and then like, hey, it's for your joint. And even if you did see it online, there's something about seeing it in person.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
So if you are focused on what you see on the internet, it's only half of it. It's only the visual aspect of it. And you don't really get the historical side. You don't get actually seeing something, an artifact in person. That gets lost on the phone. You know,
that's a good point. Yeah, for sure.
What inspired this collection, or how did it come together?
It's Jimmy's love and appreciation for tattooing.
Yeah.
You know, and I kind of feel like his friendships that he's built and just all the people that he meets, and I know Rollo's a big part of that too. Hence like that the Jerry Purple and why we kind of do the 3 dots, which maybe we could touch on, but a lot of it is just his love and appreciation. He wants other people to love and appreciate you know, these artifacts as well. You know, he spent a lifetime literally collecting it.
Yeah. And it's super cool that he has all these things and shares it.
Yeah.
People. You could have all this stuff and keep it for yourself.
Yeah,
but he
literally
wants to give people who care the
makes
opportunity to.
Yeah, he makes it available and it's free.
Right.
Yeah. You know, and you can't say that about any other museum in the world, that you can just come here and have access to something that you consume on a daily basis. And you can touch the artifacts.
Yeah.
You can get a whole history lesson, as much or as little as you want. You know, and you can get educated and leave with a higher appreciation for the trade that you're a part of and you dedicate your life to. You have a better understanding of it.
I think earlier you said something that was really like, I'd never thought about this before, but as we were going through, you know, some of the photos and just boxes of things, you said almost in like a legacy, like how many pages of a binder your tattoo history, career, whatever you call it, contribution, how many pages would that fill up? And that's so crazy, because I think we were talking about like the why. Like why would a person want to start tattooing? Why should a person, you know, get into tattooing? And do you think that even something like that, like, I don't know that most people come into tattooing like, yeah, I want to leave a legacy. I think that for sure, at least for me, tattooing since 2007, it's like I'm kind of at the point where, not the only point, like I'm always curious and I always want to try to do better or something different.
Right.
But it's like, I think that legacy word is starting to like mean a little bit more.
Sure.
Like, I want to leave a legacy. What does that look like? So I think I'm just kind of maybe just spitting out ideas, but I think that's definitely something that after a while you're like, well, that's what's next is leaving a legacy.
You have to contribute to tattooing, because I mean, even if you look at just Jimmy, right? Started off in a tattoo shop, started getting into bettering tattoo supplies and helping tattooers. That's a level of contribution, making quality supplies, right? And that turns into meeting some of the heavy hitters and then collecting relics that maybe they did or did not value. You know, who knows? But he found value in that, and he's contributing by conserving lifetimes, 50 lifetimes in here of individual artists, you know? And preserving that. He can tell you every date, every name, where it came from, every person that's touched every artifact that he has.
Wow.
You know, I wish I had the ability to do that, but you know. But I mean, when I look at that, and you know, I've been told several times throughout my career, what are you going to contribute to tattooing? What are you going to bring to the table? Right. You know, I've had to figure that out for a long time, and sometimes I'm still figuring it out. Maybe I'm not done contributing. But when I see the work and effort that Jimmy's put into to curate this whole place, 6 units worth of value to tattooing, you know, I'm astounded every time that I'm in here, you know, like, and the only way that I can like condense it where I'm not, you know, going on a tangent is whenever I look at Bert Grimm's that one book, because I'm like, you've cataloged when he was 17 up to when he was 85, you know, and it's then you go out and you see this wall, and it's not all his work, but it's a lot of it, and all the things that went along with it. So the acetates that go along with the flash sheets, the plaques or whatever, you know, and it's like, you now see Bert Grimm's contribution. You see Jerry's contribution. You see Bob Wick's contribution. You see W.R. King's, you know, you see Cindy Ray's, you see all these people that one man's collected, but it's these other people's contributions to tattooing.
Right.
And it's like, well, what did you do? You know, I kind of review myself sometimes. Like, what did you do? Like, did you just take, or did you take some effort and try to give something back?
So there has to be enough of a love for tattooing to even ask that question. Yeah, definitely. And I can only hope that asking that question is going to ultimately help the person coming to get tattooed by you, because it means that I'm thinking about this all the time. It's not just, oh, so I'm going to get up and go to tattoo today. It's like, what kind of mark can I leave on, you know, a craft that's given so much to me? That should probably then bleed over into the client, what kind of tattoo they walk away with, what type of experience they have.
I think tattooing in a nutshell is you doing nothing but giving out contributions. I think sometimes we might get a little bit lost in maybe just technical application. Oh, this is how it's going to age, and okay, great, you know, that's good for them and their family and the 100 people they might run into. But I think the contribution goes into just, I think, how you apply yourself, how you talk to your customers, educating your customers, educating your apprentices, educating yourself. You know, I think it's I don't know if I'm touching on it or if I'm going off record, but I think your whole career is contribution. Am I answering that right?
I think so. I mean, I at least I hope. You know, other than, again, we were kind of talking earlier, like, why do people even start tattooing? And I knew a person, it was just, they were going to fund their way through college through tattooing. And it's like, that sounds like a money, which obviously any time we get a job, it's for money. But I feel like tattooing is like something more special.
And I've always been told too, you don't get in tattooing for the money because the money ain't there. An old man told me that. He's like, don't get into this, you ain't gonna make it, dude. Like, you know, this is not about money. You do it because you love it. You know, it's like, oh, I do love it. Like, it's, you know.
Well, and I always do that. I always think that too. It's like, how much do you love it? Would you do it for free? If the answer is yes, then you probably love it. If the answer is like, no, I'm only here for the pension, probably don't love it. Therefore, your heart can't be into it. You can you can pretend and fake that, I think, for a while, but after a while, you're just going to get exhausted.
You'll get burnt out. For sure.
And then people are going to suffer. For
your quality of tattoos are going to go down, and eventually your career goes down. It is what it is.
And then you're leaving that mark on people. Hopefully they can get it covered up, or lasered or something.
But I think too, man, hopefully if somebody does experience burnout, which I think even if you love it, there's a part of it where that can happen. Just because it's customer service, so that like that can get kind of fizzled, and you got to compete and whatever with other shops or whatever. But, you know, I think when that happens, you have to kind of revisit why you love it and what got you into it. You have to remind yourself sometimes, like, oh wait, like, you know, there's more to this than just the daily grind. So sometimes you know,
there's probably two different ends of burnout. Like, you burn out because you love it so much and it's all you consume, therefore you're literally going to just burn out. And then there's the burnout of like, I don't love it enough, so this isn't even filling my soul anymore. I'm just kind of just burnt out. There's definitely
I'm praying I don't experience that.
Well,
but I mean, you know, I think for me it literally is the only thing I know. So I don't know how to be burnt out. You know, I don't think I do, at least. I think I could be burnt out on people, but tattooing, I don't it never even enters my mind that I'm like, forget this. You
Right.
know, like I love tattooing.
Right.
You know? Like
Right.
I've known this. It's the only thing I know.
Well, and I think too, like what's super cool about it is that, you know, even just talking to Jimmy last night, he's kind of lit this fire again. What you showed me with the coil machine.
Yeah.
I don't even know how that conversation came up, but it was just like, he's like, you know, what do you use? And I'm like, yeah, I'm using a pen right now. I started with coils. I've used a lot of coils,
right,
and then gone through the whole gamut. But it's like, I still know there's nothing like tattooing with a coil.
Yeah.
Here's the gripe. And he's like, I want to show you how to set one up tomorrow. And now it's like, now I'm thinking again. And then, so it's like you can kind of weave through these ebbs and flows of just how you're tattooing, what tools you're using.
Yeah.
Try a different palette or try a different ink brand. So throw yourself off a little bit, make it a challenge again. Yeah. To get back to like where you're like, okay, rocking and rolling again.
But I think too that kind of goes into the type of person you are. So like if you're the type that kind of needs something new, I know I'm like that. Yeah. Yeah. I'm always trying something new. Right. So maybe that's why I don't experience burnout. There's always something. There's always a variable for me.
Yeah, you're always climbing for something.
But I think, you know, that keeps a tattooer alive is when you're, and I think nowadays there's not that much new happening. I mean, that everything is, I mean, a lot of companies streamline things for convenience sake, but convenience sake can give you that burnout where you're not learning anything new because there's nothing new to be learned. There's no.
So then maybe then you go back in time.
You have to go back a little
here.
bit. Yeah.
And you're like, maybe I'll try tattooing with an acetate stencil.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll kick your ass.
Oh yeah. Yeah. For sure. Just cut one. Make the cut. Like I had a vintage stencil, and I wrote the guy that I got him. I was like, yo man, I just tattooed this thing. And he's like, oh man, I wouldn't. Be careful that thing. It'll break on you. I was like, oh dude, I copied it on the copier. Dude. I was like, I'm not damaging that thing, man. I'm not even playing that game, dude. Like, no man. He's like, oh, that's smart. I was like, yeah, dude. Like I know my lane. I appreciate it. I keep 1 foot in, 1 foot in the past and one in the future. You know, that kind of deal. Yeah. So, but it gave me a taste of back then, because even then, I mean, those lines aren't perfect. They're like jagged. And, oh man. Correcting on the fly. Exactly. Kind of thing too. You know. Yep. And tattoo came out cool, and the guy loved it, and it was fun.
Sure.
Yeah, that's real cool.
Yeah, which kind of, even like what you said, just like the lines are jagged in the stencil. Yeah. So you kind of have to like tattoo it perfect or better on the fly. Well, that takes artistic capability. Yeah. Which, is also like, because I don't even know how much of that's still like a thing, but I've run across people, I ordered a tattoo kit, I'm learning how to tattoo. Do you draw? I can't draw to save my life.
Yeah.
What?
I have a huge gripe with that.
Well, yeah, but it's like, well, there's the reason why you should draw first is because can you use this gnarly stencil and make those edges and lines look smooth, those curves look smooth? Or,
that's something I've never understood. If you don't care about drawing in any capacity, but you want to draw on people for a living, it's crazy. It doesn't even make sense. Dude. No. I hate fish. I'm going to be a sushi chef. Like, this doesn't make sense. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, you don't even want to touch the fish. Like, what are you talking? You want to be a sushi guy?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, whatever you're into, I guess. But I think you're gonna waste your time. So
true.
Yeah, but I mean, that's tattooing. You're always gonna have people that are in it for the wrong reasons, or maybe they need a second to realize that maybe this isn't for them. Maybe they're just a collector or an enthusiast. Sure. Maybe they shouldn't be the one applying the tattoo. But it takes some time to get there.
And that's okay too. Yeah,
like, that's fine.
Again, I think that the ultimate test for that is like caring enough for the client.
Yeah.
So then just kind of get real with yourself. Like, man, I just suck. I'm going to not do this anymore. I'm going to not mess people up anymore. I've tried to get better. I've tried to learn. Hopefully people have tried. But even then there has to be like a curiosity enough to like, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
Why does yours look that way? Help me. Maybe a humility that comes into tattooing.
You kind of need that, but if you don't have it, then I mean, there's nothing that can be done for you. I mean, even Michael Jordan played baseball for a little bit. And, you know what? Kind of suck, dude. That's true. I'd rather just shoot the ball than hit it. Like that's but you have to kind of figure that out. And if you don't have it in you to correct or even be taught, like, hey, dude, you're not. Maybe you should slow down, or maybe pull it back a little bit. You're doing too much. And if you don't have that in you, then tattooing ain't for you. Because I mean, dude, the first time you screw up on a client, that's a wrap, dude. Like, you know, you can't take any kind of criticism or be real with yourself. Be honest, like you're not, you know, the king on the hill. Like, you should probably not tattoo, because that's not the sport for you.
Agreed.
You know?
It's definitely not a sport,
especially with tattooing.
What's one or a few of your favorite pieces in the museum? We saw a lot, and it's all incredible.
I love all the Wagner frames. I think those are amazing. Paul's machines, because they're all handmade. They're all unique. You know. I do like the Bill Jones, the Sailor Jerry machine, the Bill Jones that he modified. I think that one's pretty cool. Any of the sheets that we have with W.R. King, the Bob Wicks flash, I think is really good. I really love those. They're all in cardboard, by the way. It's not watercolor paper.
Whoa.
So if you kind of look up close and see how smooth everything is, it's on thick cardboard. That's something to think about too. It's astounding to see how good those paintings are.
Yeah.
And you don't realize what it's painted. It's not like perfect watercolor paper. It's not even close.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's like on crescent board. Yeah. Yep. And it's painted flawlessly. Wow. Yeah. And I believe that's the rarest flash we have too.
Cool.
There's not a lot of flash sheets. He only had like a 10-year stint. So from the 20s and 30s. And then after that, I think he went back to like circus. But yeah, I think Jimmy's got the biggest collection of his paintings, whether it's tattoo flash or just paintings. I think there's like six of his oil paintings.
So cool looking.
Yeah. Not accounting for what he may have at home. You know?
Yeah.
He's got a serious collection. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, you showed us like a holy grail earlier. I don't think we were mic'd up when we were talking about it, but do you want to talk about the purple?
Yeah. Jimmy got some of Sailor Jerry's purple directly from Mike Malone, along with a lot of the other Sailor Jerry memorabilia. And we tattoo little dots on tattooers that appreciate it. And hopefully we can do some today. You know, we'll tattoo. But it's the first purple in tattooing, and it's the mystique around Sailor Jerry, and it's literally sitting here in Largo, Florida.
Right.
And and it's been here. It's been here for a while. Yeah, it's been here for a while. Yeah. But it came from Jerry to Malone to Jimmy. Yeah. It's amazing. Yeah.
Wow. And for people to, you know, just to know that like purple wasn't always there. It's everywhere today, but like that color
was a big deal, dude.
Yeah.
It's a super big deal. And I mean, I guess some people wouldn't appreciate it because you can just mix up colors and you have your color theory or whatever. But back then that was a huge deal to have purple powder pigment. You know, and I'm pretty sure part of the reason was you weren't wasting pigment to try to mimic the color.
Sure.
You know, especially when Jerry comes out and he's got this bluish purple that you can't quite imitate because you can't. It's that manufactured color. It's that pigment. And he took his time to source it and make it and mix it and tried it, and it didn't reject, it didn't screw up the skin. It stayed fine.
Right.
You know, and that I think that's pretty amazing in itself too. So.
Well, I think the other thing too, why I like Lucky Supply, is that there are differences in supplies. There are differences in the things that we can put into the human skin.
Yeah.
And so you touched a little bit just on ink. You don't have to give away any like trade secrets or anything like that. But, you know, if you can think of some things like to touch on, like, why is that important? And it sounds like, you know, things go through quite the process to even be sold here. Again, why is that important? Well, you don't just sell to anybody. So that's super important. All that goes to show like there's an ultimate care and a protection. Which ultimately ends up affecting the client, because everything we get from Lucky's goes into their skin or on their skin. So if there's people that aren't tattooers that are watching this, maybe share like a couple of things of like, this matters and this is why these differences matter. Maybe even some of the differences that they are, like we talked about ink just the size of the particle,
the molecule. Yeah. So I mean, if we just touched on just machines running efficiently, I mean, you want the ink in your skin as nicely as possible. You don't need it leaving hollow lines or hollow gray marks where they can't push the needle. And the needles, you don't want them barbed or you know, all screwy and you know, or even soldered a different size. So sometimes it's a little bit looser than the next one, and sometimes, I know back when I first kind of got into it, dude, it was literally a roll of the dice between that 5-pack. It was like, you know, it was like they were all completely different soldered lengths. Oh, dude, it was awful. It was really awful. So I mean, I know that there's rigorous testing, and I mean, things can happen. It is what it is, but
of course,
for the most part, it's just quality control, so the tattooer can get the best thing possible.
Sure.
You know, and I mean, we do a lot of testing here between the pigments and the needles before it ever even goes on the site for it to make it available to you. And like, it ain't just me doing it; it's other tattooers that it's in the circle of trust, if you will. You know, that will, you know, put their clients, you know, through that testing, put their name on the line just to put that on the website for other people to enjoy, so they can tattoo a whole lot easier.
Sure.
And have a whole lot less headaches and not a lot of guesswork.
Right.
You know, I think that's really important too, is you can buy from somebody that you don't have to wonder if this is going to work out or not, you know?
Yeah.
You know, plus I know tattooers are very, once they find something they like, they don't really want to deviate from it if it does work. You know, you'd be skeptical to try something new. So.
Yeah. And I think that's where then the curiosity of like, well, I can attest to that. Like, I just recently changed all of my ink.
Right.
Because I learned like, oh, that's a thing. Did a little education on it. Like, well, this sounds healthier and better and safer. You guys carry them. And so I'm like, okay, well, I like what some of those other colors look like a lot better, but this is the commitment that I'm making.
Yeah.
And you know what? It kind of messes you up a little bit, because now you got to learn a whole new color palette.
Yeah, and how thick they are, how they run, how they heal, how they age and settle. I know that's a big deal, but I mean, a lot of that I definitely talk with Jimmy with, because I'm a big fan of handmade pigments and tattooer owned pigments. Huge advocate for that, just because you're supporting tattooing, and I think that's really important.
Yeah.
But there are some companies that will mass produce things and use the cheapest quality products possible, and they have great marketing. And they make it seem, you know,
it's very convincing.
Yeah, they'll put fancy words on it to make things seem better than the next, and it is kind of hard to tell because you don't know how things are made, and you have to just trust that it's a good company and it is what it is. But I mean, all in all, the smell test tells you everything. You know? You'll find out very quick what's in your pigment, and the last thing you want to do is pump your client up full of garbage.
Sure.
You know, that's not fair to you or your client, because your client's trusting you and you're trusting the supply.
Yeah.
You know, and the supply is ultimately trying to make money a lot of the time. So they're not worried about you. It's not their problem once you purchase it. So
the word margins came up a little bit at dinner last night, and it definitely left me with like a major appreciation for what Jimmy's doing, his vision, his goal. I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense that, you know, you said that. And I guess a little bit is like a little convicting for me. Like, okay, you know, might it cost $1 or $2 more? Yeah. Is it better? Yeah. Is that worth something?
Oh, yes. It saves you money. In reality, spending a little bit more saves you a whole lot more.
Well, and it's like, well, if my whole career is based on like the quality and the deliverance of this product, then I probably shouldn't bitch too much about.
It's a couple bucks more, but you know,
but not always though.
Not always. I think of this too. You know, you guys tattoo, so you know, you're not going to tell your client that you use subpar. You don't even consider yourself subpar. You're like, you know, who's the best in your town? You're gonna be like me. My shop, we're the best.
Right.
We work the hardest. We, you know, we do the best quality. And then if you,
I'm using everything from Walmart.
If the best kind of teeters off because $1 or $2 more, then that says a lot more about you than you think. You know what I mean? Like, you should probably just make that investment.
Right.
Plus, I mean, if you have better pigments and you're, you know, let's just talk about colors. If you use the best quality colors and you use the best quality technique, the best machines, the best everything, your tattoo should look the best.
Sure.
10 years from now, it should still be the best.
Yeah, right.
So if you have 10 tattooers in your town and we can all recognize whose works who, yours should be able to stand out because you absolutely do use the best things possible and available to you.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact that Jimmy does source the absolute best that you could possibly get your hands on.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know? So, and I'm privileged whenever I get to be a part of it, and I've seen all the behind the scenes. Trust me, he is using the absolute best that you can absolutely get. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
Zero. Literally, there's no question about it. I don't even know,
Sure.
Not even because I work here. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is. It's literally the best.
Well, and it's actually being tested by legit tattooers. It's not just like
production.
Production.
Yeah. You could blindly just pump out a bunch of crap, but trust me, that is the last thing that happens.
Right.
Sure.
It is a lot of loops.
Before
it's even considered.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Why do you, Jimmy, and everybody else here at Lucky Supply think that, and we both agree, but think that preserving tattoo history is so important?
Because we care about tattooing, and we hope to help other tattooers and other enthusiasts care about tattooing in the same manner. You know, I guess in a way, it's not mandatory, but I mean, somebody's got to do it. You know, like if it gets lost, then what? You know, like if nobody preserves Jerry's purpose, nobody would understand that was a big deal at a point. The effort, I'll say that until I'm blue in the face, the effort that it takes to do any of what we do on a day-to-day basis. And you have somebody like Jimmy who's doesn't tattoo, doesn't have to do any of this stuff, is going out his way to preserve something. I think that should be appreciated, and I think other people should appreciate it.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, man. I don't know. It's but we all care, and we just want other people to care too.
Yeah,
it's like, why wouldn't you care? I don't know. Why would you be a part of something and not care? Why would you not want to learn about this? And somebody who's made it available for you to, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I answered that right.
No, absolutely.
No, I think it's good. I was just trying to remember something you said earlier, like about a physician. It goes along with what you just said. Like, why would you do something and not care?
Why would, or just like,
if you're a doctor and you're fixing people with cancer and you're like, oh dude, I don't know anything about it. I don't know, dude. It's like I'm here for the big bucks,
that's right.
Or they pay good. I don't know, it's kind of weird. It's asinine. It's odd.
That's true. Yeah,
you should care about what you do. It doesn't make sense. You're wasting your time and you're taking somebody else's position. It's not fair to
maybe you're kind of in the way a little bit. Yeah.
So if you don't care, do something you care about. Even if that's washing dishes.
Sure.
Be the best dishwasher. Go do it over there.
Sure.
Somebody doesn't want to do it. Some people want to learn tattooing and they want to get into it. You want to do a particular style. You want to
preserve it. They want to respect
it. And there's honestly too, now I'm thinking about it, the history of tattooing goes into good tattooing. They did all the hard work already. They already did all the line work. They did all the funny techniques. They tried it and you saw what worked and what didn't work. So why wouldn't you look at history? That's another point too. Why wouldn't you look at that? So now you don't have to experiment. You can look at somebody who made powder pigment and you saw that their tattoos still look good, and you see that 80-year-old man.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, this is what worked and this is what didn't. They already did that hard work.
Yeah.
So if you don't have to be a history buff, but if you do look into it,
right,
you can look at that and say, oh, these guys already tried that.
Does this wheel need reinventing?
Yeah.
Or not?
Yeah.
If not,
so if you don't, then you might just repeat the same steps and you might end up frustrated. You might be spending 15 years and be like, dang, dude,
they were right all along.
They were right.
Yeah.
They weren't full of crap. They already did it. They already suffered.
What, we kind of touched on this a little bit already, but what advice would you give to professional tattooers who are young in their career, still experimenting with finding supplies, machines, and stuff like that?
They need to source from people that are actually in the business and in the game for real, not just behind a computer punching numbers and trying to get their profit margins up. Deal with tattooer owned things and tattooer ran things, and you know, I know for myself, I've bought from everybody. And I mean, this is a family company too. It only makes sense to kind of just buy from smaller companies that do a lot more quality control, and they actually care about the things that they're selling, because they're not trying to damage their name. You know, the last thing they want is a pissed off tattooer.
Right.
And you know, they need to learn about, I don't know, younger tattooers, man. They need to learn about history. They need to think about who they're supporting, and they need to think about where their money's going. Your money don't come in every day, so you think about where you put it and the effort that company's putting in to give you a good supply. I think that's super, super, super important. Because honestly, as many crap machines as I bought in my career, I could have just saved my money, did everything right, and bought from here from the jump.
Yep.
You know, instead of trying to tinker with the machine because I thought it wasn't working.
Right.
You know, those kind of things.
Same. I remember my first professional machine from a reputable place was like, oh, this thing will basically just tattoo by itself. It was a huge night and day difference.
Yeah. And I mean, with that being said, that's like this company, like being here. I mean, dude, literally we discuss as much as possible how can we make this better.
Yeah.
And if I was a younger tattooer and I was deciding between the big fancy company or the company that actually is trying to say, how can I make this easier for them? You could just crank out some crap, you know, and still make the same amount of money, if not more.
Right. Yep.
But how can I make this better? Let's try it in skin before anybody gets it.
Yeah.
All right, it's working. All these guys, all your favorite tattooers like it. They don't tell you anything, you know? And then next thing you know, it comes out and it becomes available to you. And it is. And then on top of that, the standard, the quality that everybody stands behind in here, it's unmatched. There's no questions asked. It needs to be the best.
Sure.
You
so
know?
There's definitely an integrity there. There's a bar.
There's integrity. There's quality control. You know, you can come here and come talk to us, not talk to a sales rep. That's gonna talk to a sales rep that's going to send you on, you know, press B, you know, press two to talk to somebody who doesn't know anything.
Exactly. Right.
You know, somebody can give you an answer here.
Sure. Yeah, that's awesome.
I implore people to just reach out to me. I'll tell you whatever you want to know.
Sure.
Like, what do you need help with?
Yeah.
Like, sure. No problem.
Right.
You know?
One thing that Jimmy said last night, he was just talking about starting out and building the company or whatever. But he's like, yeah, back in the day, like, I was just pretty much like making needles to order. And stuff. And I'm like, there's so much soul in like giving a tattoo, like buying from a tattooer, them doing this and just keeping that money, like you said, in like the right hands. There's so much soul in that. Yeah. So
and on top of that, you know who's doing it.
Yeah.
You like literally come here, who's building the machine? It's me and Jimmy.
Yeah.
That's it. Who's who's CNCing the machines? It's Rick. You know, who's shipping it out? It's the two people in the front.
Yeah.
You know, like that's it. Like, you know, like it's streamlined. It's the same people. It's been the same people.
Sure. It
really doesn't change that often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really cool point. Really good.
So
point.
you can go somewhere and support somewhere where nobody knows where nothing comes from. They're just like, I don't know, we'll just get a shipment and it is, you know, whatever. Everything's made in-house here. Like it's all handmade, hand touched, hand developed.
Yeah. There's
and
something sweet with
I don't
that.
even think you can get that in other situations, even outside of tattooing, where it's like you have a company where everybody's doing all the work inside.
Right.
You know, that's hard to find.
Yeah, not much.
And then on top of that, not knocking you over the head for the price.
Exactly.
Because that can justifiably be done too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally do that.
Yeah.
You know,
so
true. I think, you know, again, just for anybody who's getting into it or is into it and is considering where they should, you know, put their money, just consider that it's a family-owned business. It's been a family-owned business. It's only going through a couple of hands. It's all made in-house in the USA. Literally, it's all here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's all here.
Yeah.
And then you can go and come visit and see it happening for yourself.
Which is wild. Yeah.
You know,
when we pulled up yesterday, I'm like, I cannot believe.
Just from the outside.
It's right here.
Yeah.
So wild.
And then we took a quick browse. We had something to go do. Just walking through, we're all like, there's so much stuff in here. It's incredible.
It really is amazing.
It is.
You know, and I've never been to a place that puts this much care into it. Every step of it.
Yeah.
You know, it's insane.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And you
pretty
can see it definitely just in the quality of everything. That ever since, I mean, I probably remember textured needles only coming from here.
Yeah.
Way back.
Yeah. Jimmy's the first one to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could buy them loose at the time, but I do know you're basically buying loose needles, or you got a white box full of a random amount of needles. It doesn't matter if you bought all 9 rounds, they were all a little bit different. It was terrible.
It wasn't it kind of like a basic kind of white rectangle
White
cardboard
plain
box?
Yeah.
Oh
White
my
plain
gosh,
box.
that's funny. I remember
You know?
Yeah, that's wild.
But now, you have like where the consistency is pretty much there.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing like, I don't think any newer tattooer is going to ever experience that.
Sure.
The white box experience, but there is very good quality. And I mean, there's just a lot of, it's a lot of TLC, man, being put into everything,
Mm-hmm.
Especially the machines and like, dude, like it's a lot of TLC. And dude, and the fact that Jimmy sells other people, I mean, I guess everybody sells everybody's machines now, but as far as I'm concerned, I don't remember any company selling any tattooers machines. Only theirs. If you bought Unimax, you bought Unimax machines. If you bought, and if you did, like if you went to B-Rush Apple, like, and you bought a machine from them, it was some Chinese machine that was mass produced. It wasn't like a tattooer's machine, like, you heard about Joe Schmo's tattoos.
Yep.
And it's their machine. I've never heard of it that before Jimmy. At least I can't think of anybody.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Yeah, very cool. Very
and
awesome.
Jimmy don't got to do that. That's him sharing the wealth. You know what I mean? Like, like, hey, I have some good experience. Like, all right, I can help you out.
Well, it sounds like he's already kind of gone through, almost vetting the people who care versus the people who are just after the buck.
Sure.
And those that are sitting here are on, that are supplied from here is like, okay. Yeah. I feel like no matter what, you'll probably end up with obviously something really good, but then maybe even on top of that from somebody who actually cares.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. It's not just about the money.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not some weird factory.
Right.
Like, in the middle of nowhere. Or they're just turning them out. Like literally all handmade, and anybody who deals, like even for Jimmy to sell your machine here, it has to be perfect. That's the first thing I'll tell you, is it has to be perfect.
That's cool. Very cool.
So that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
If you're gonna mass produce anything and he's gonna put his name behind it, it needs to be on point.
Sure. That's awesome.
You gotta appreciate that. Yeah.
I think you've already hammered my last question, but just in case you had anything else you wanted to add, why choose Lucky Supply?
Because it's the best, and there's no compromising in any part of the company. And that's coming from somebody who just admired it from afar to becoming a customer, becoming somebody who just built a machine with, him and his son, and still not being affiliated. Yeah. I got this tattoo, the Lucky's before I even started working here.
Oh, that's awesome.
I just, I appreciate Jimmy and Lucky so much.
Yeah.
Cool.
And, it's just, there's just no compromise. It's the best, or it can't happen.
Yeah.
Literally, it can't, down to the teensiest detail. You have no clue. If it's not correct, it's wrong. So it needs to be right in order for him to put his name behind it.
Yeah, and it's the best because it's owned small. It's owned by people who are in tattooing.
Yeah.
Not some office.
It's some corporate person.
Yeah, some big building owning it. It's literally tattooer owned and produced, ran, fulfilled. And that's worth a lot. Because then maybe that's the other thing that even maybe some tattooers don't know. I was like, wait, I'm buying from like a corporation. Yeah. And not
a lot of people don't realize that. But most companies are all ran by some big corporate deal. Yeah. And
who don't care.
Yeah,
they don't care.
Yeah, they can care less.
They're
Once tattooing stops making the money, they're just gonna dump the company.
They'll buy something else.
Do something else.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But here it's not like that. It easily could be. Yeah. If he decided to, this would be a whole other deal,
But what did he say whenever he was approached?
He locked the doors and burned the building down. So, that says a lot. He could have took a check and walked away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
But then it'd be a fee to walk in here, and nobody would give two craps about anything.
Yeah.
I'm sure there would be a lot of a lot of BS attached to the company, and they'd be selling every little thing possible.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it'd
That's
be
very
awful.
true.
It'd be awful. It'd be heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But I think that's what keeps the soul of this place and keeps this place so special, is that it's one man's passion that everybody's making a group effort to keep together. You know? And it's a small group. It's literally 12 of us.
Yeah,
total.
That's super cool.
From the front to the back, that's pretty crazy.
It is.
You know, most companies, I don't know, they can't even name any of the people that.
Sure,
you know?
That's true.
Like I could literally name everybody.
Yeah,
it's crazy. So it's really cool.
Well, yeah, I mean, I know we all like appreciate your time. Appreciate Jimmy, Aurora, everybody
I appreciate
who
you
like
guys.
made this happen. It's been such
mind blowing.
It's really cool.
Yeah,
it's been fun today.
It's definitely,
I'm glad I get to be the one to talk with you guys. You know?
Well, thank you. Thank you. I mean,
very
I don't know if you're typically off on Saturdays, but
you're
here.
I'm tattooing, so you know, it's all good. Thanks
for taking time out.
Anytime honestly, it's been really cool.
How can people find you in the Instagram internet world?
You could find me at Lucky Loz_tattoo, or you could just walk into Lucky's and you'll find me at the museum talking about history.
Yeah. You have a huge passion for it, and you're really good for sharing that history. So
thank you.
If anybody is interested, for sure.
Thanks.
Do this. Absolutely.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thanks, man. For real.
Thanks, Brad. Thanks,
man.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thanks, man.
Much appreciated.